Hi, my name is Rebecca, and I'm a neuroscientist at the University of Pennsylvania. Neuroscience is the study of the brain, and your brain has the important job of responding to everything around you. That includes deciding whether you want to kick a ball in soccer or pass it to your teammate. That can also include deciding if your food is too hot to eat. But your brain is stuck inside of your head, and everything else is going on outside of it. How does your brain know what's going on? The brain has a special set of tools that it uses to understand the world. We call those tools your senses. You have 5 main senses, and each one has its own body part. To see, you have your eyes. To hear, you have your ears. To taste, you have your tongue. To smell, you have your nose. And to feel, you have your skin. Because of your senses, your brain can understand what is going on in the world and respond to it. What you might not realize is that your body parts are built to help you sense the world in the best way for a person. In biology, we see this a lot. We see that cells and organs are built to do the jobs they have to do. We often say in biology that the structure of cells and organs helps with their function. When we talk about a cell or an organ's structure, we mean, what is it made of, and how is it put together? When we talk about a cell or an organ's function, we mean, what does it do, and what is its job? Let's take a look at a few examples from the senses to see how structure and function are related. This is a human ear. We know that it is used to hear sounds. That's its function, its job. How do you think that the ear's structure can help it with its function? The ear is shaped like a funnel that helps it catch the sounds so that they can travel into your ear canal. The ear also has lots of bumps and folds so that the sound can bounce off of those folds and travel into the ear canal. If you look at most people's ears, they aren't just holes on the side of your head. Ears face a little bit forward. For people, the most important sounds are usually coming from other people talking to them. Since people behind you aren't usually talking to you, those sounds aren't as important, so your ears don't face backwards. Let's take a look at another example. This is a human hand. We know that hands are used to touch and feel things. Some parts of the hand are more sensitive than others. That is part of its structure. When you look at a hand, what part is the most sensitive? How do you think that helps the hand do its function? The most sensitive part of your hands are the fingertips. Your fingertips are the most sensitive because they are usually the first part of your hand to touch things. This also means that if you feel something dangerous, spiky, or slimy with your fingertips, you can react quickly and pull the rest of your hand away. Since the senses are built for their jobs, that helps the brain process information more efficiently. But the way our senses are built are meant for humans and how we live our lives. Animals also have senses, and they also use their senses to explore the world, but they have different problems than we do. When we look at the way that the body parts of an animal are built, we can understand how the jobs that their senses do might be different than ours. Let's take a look at a few animals and figure out how the shape and structure of their senses help them to sense the world in ways that might be different than how we sense the world. This is a bat. You can see that its face is very different than your face. What do you notice first about it? How might the structures on its face give us a hint about its senses? This bat has huge ears. Its ears are even bigger than its head. Its eyes are very small. This bat hunts at night and mainly uses something called echolocation to find its food. That means it makes a sound and then listens for how that sound bounces off of objects around it. It doesn't need to use its eyes to do that, so its eyes are small. The size of its ears and eyes give us a hint about how the bat uses those senses to live and hunt. Let's take a look at one more cool animal. This is a deer. What do you notice about the structure of its senses? How might these help this animal live? Deer are animals that are often hunted by other animals, such as wolves, coyotes, or wild dogs. This means that they are often watching out for predators that might be around. We can see that its ears are big. We already said how our ears face forward so that we can hear people in front of us. A deer wants to hear sounds all around them, so its ears can swivel so that it can hear everything. We can also see that its eyes are big and very far apart. When people look at things, we are usually looking at things right in front of us, so our eyes are close together. Since a deer is looking out for danger, its eyes are spread apart, so it can see more area at the same time. This is also true for other animals that are prey, such as rabbits, cows, and small birds. Now that we've seen a couple of examples of animals that have very different senses than we do, why don't we try out an activity that uses what we've learned? We're going to design our own animal with its own super senses. Here's what to do. Grab some paper and something to draw with, crayons, markers, pencils, or pens. Now we're going to create an imaginary animal. First, think about the animal's functions. What does it eat? Where does it live? What does it do all day? Now, think about the senses an animal needs to do all of those things. Those are the structures that it needs. Where are its eyes or ears? What is its skin made of? How big is it? What about body parts that you can't see on the outside? Can it feel the difference between different types of trees? Or can it taste when food is ready to eat? I'm going to make one too. If you want, you can pause the video while you draw your animal. Here's my animal. I'm calling it the Melody Mouse. I decided that my animal lives in theaters and in music halls. It hides in the walls when there are concerts, and then it sneaks out to grab popcorn and candy that people drop during the show. I made it very small so that it can sneak under the chairs before and after the shows. It has big ears, and it's very good at specifically hearing music. It needs to know when a show is happening so it can stay out of the way of people's feet. It mainly eats the snacks that people drop during the show, so its sense of taste is specialized for snack food. It has a long nose so that it can sniff out the snacks even when it's dark. Its eyes are small because it mainly uses its ears and its nose to sense what's going on in the world. Now that you have your own animal, you can think about how you might study it in the real world. You can also show this video to your friends and they can make their own animals. You guys can talk about it and compare your animals to each other and talk about their specialized senses, real or imaginary. You can also write a story about your animal or draw more pictures of it. Thanks for learning about structure and function with me. If you liked learning about the senses, we're going to be making more videos that talk about them and how they work in detail. Thanks for watching.